And good morning is 7:04 on this Thursday, May 16th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. Yes, Thursday morning, we welcome you to our program, and we welcome our friends from Bates Ford this morning. Bates Ford is now at 1780 Franklin Road right here in Lebanon, Tennessee, and they're still the dealer that'll trade for anything that don't eat. Paul Tubbs, good morning.
Good morning.
And how are things with you?
Doing great.
Good. Ronnie Kelly is here. Ronnie, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Nice to see you both, and get us started, Paul.
We got a lot going on at Bates Ford. Got the new facility up, and our new car inventory is in really good shape. We've got a lot of new vehicles. We've got some new F-150s that's come in. Ford's doing a lot of low APR, meaning that, when you borrow the money, they're giving special interest rates. So a friend of mine bought a vehicle last week, and it was an F-150 and got 60 months at like 3.9% on the financing, which is a good rate right now. We've got our used inventories in excellent shape. We've gone through, we'll send them all through the shop. All of our trades we get in, we make them sure that they get through the shop. And my favorite thing, they make them roadworthy and make sure they got fresh tires and brakes and, all that good stuff. But we got a lot of good stuff going on.
Well, Ronnie, you can add to that, no doubt, and talk about that F-150 you
We
like.
got the F-150, like Paul said, we got some great interest rates on those. And also, some people have special incentives, special letters that have different rebates. So had one other day, had a $4,000 rebate. And they got that special letter in the mail, so you ought to come down to Bates Ford, and sometimes they forget that they get a letter, so all we had to do is put them in the computer, and we'll look it up and find that extra money.
Well, how about that?
And
I hadn't heard about that.
Yes, we found a lot of extra money there, so it's
yeah.
great. And if you want to buy a new vehicle, the time is right to come to Bates Ford, because everyone that come in on a new vehicle, we are getting together and putting a deal together.
Well, if selection means something to you, and really it does to most people, the better selection, the bigger choice they have, obviously. Now is the time.
Now is the time, because we have that selection, and if anything, we used to not have many new, but now you can choose. You got to go to an Edge, and you might have 15 of them. We go to F-150, we got several of them out there. F-250, we got a great selection.
How important is color to people? I mean, some people want a red truck or a red car or a white one or whatever. How important?
It's very important to a lot of people, because they got their mind made up for that particular color. But sometimes, we'll show them another color, something that they didn't expect, and sometimes we'll, give more for the trade-in, and color go out the way. It's because, when we try to make a deal, and we try to find out, so if this is the reason why you don't want this vehicle, because I don't like this color. So, then we'll go to Paul or Mike or Joe and try to put a little bit more money in their car, and maybe that'll overcome that.
And anything to help, right?
Yeah, and one thing that what he's talking about as far as the extra money, it's a private offer that Ford sends to previous employees. And actually, a friend of mine, Bobby Carr, we ran his information, we stuck it in the computer, and he had a $4,000 private offer. So, if you a previous Ford owner, a lot of times we can put that information in what we call the Vincent, and we'll pull that information and it'll pull out. We had one the other day that had another $2,000 private offer that was a returning customer. But one thing that Ford and the dealers have kind of gotten back to, if we don't have the color that you like, we can pretty much get it. We've got a pretty good relationship with a lot of surrounding dealers, and we're gotten back to, during COVID, that changing vehicles and doing what they call dealer transfers was kind of a thing of the past. Well, now that's kind of picked back up, where dealers are trading back and forth. So if you're looking for a red truck, and we don't have a red truck, well, a lot of times we can call some other dealers and put it on a locator and find that particular vehicle that you're looking for. And then we can call and say, hey, I got a customer, and, they'll look at our inventory and pick out something to swap, and we'll do what they call a dealer transfer, and we'll transfer it in. So don't feel like if you don't see what we've got on the lot, we can't get it, because we can pretty much get whatever you need.
Well, you love to be able to do that, don't you, Ron?
Yes, and it's great that we can do that. And like Paul said, it's been a thing of the past, but it's coming back.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, there's service after the sale and service even before the sale. Service is a big thing at Bates Ford.
Yeah, that's why we the new facility, that's pretty much the reason why is we wanted a much bigger service department, and we got it. We got a 40-base service department. We're getting work in and out, oil changes. We do 40, 50 a day now. We got 10 guys that specializes in maintenance, not just oil changes. They do brakes, batteries, tires, recalls. One thing I got about 10 to 12 guys. I was talking with Tony the other day, and I said, used to we had to get the suspension guy to do, there's a axle bushing recall on these new Explorers. Well, I got 3 young kids that's doing a great job of getting these recalls in and out. We're working on pickup and delivery. If you got a recall on your vehicle or you just want it serviced, if you'll give Shelly a call, we'll send somebody, pick it up, deliver it, bring it back to you. That program's really took off well. We've actually expanded the department. Tires, we're doing a ton of tires. Ford's got several rebates on tires right now, up to $70, and also the brakes. We do them every day, all day. So anything you need, come to Bates Ford. Batteries, as I've always said, right now batteries $179.95. Ford has the best warranty in the business on batteries, 3-year free replacement, meaning they'll give you a free battery. If it goes bad within the first 3 years, after that 3 years, up to 100 months, it's prorated down, so it's cheaper for the battery over a long-term period. But if you'll give us a call at Bates Ford or call Shelly at 615-444-8221 if you want to pick up and delivery, we'll be glad to do it for you.
All right. Well, it all sounds good, and we've about to run out of time here, but y'all have a great week, and next Thursday we'll try to do it again.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're 10 minutes after the hour, and Fire Chief Jason Baird is my guest this morning, and he's right here ready to get rolling and get started. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you this morning?
I'm fine. It is good to see you. It's always nice to have you and find out more about the Lebanon Fire Department. And I have found out since you've been coming out here, there is more to find out.
There is. There's a lot to us.
How busy you been?
We've been busy. We've been working on the new budget. We've had a lot of weather-related issues that's come along in the last few weeks, and we've got today we've got 3 people going for a promotionary process for assistant fire marshal's position, and we've got a long-time employee, 33 and a half years, shift commander Chris Stockton is going to be retiring, and so he's going to last day is I think July 30th, so he's going to hang his boots up, and we'll be promoting a new shift commander. And so promotions are always fun. Beforehand, that's the most productive time with all my workforce, because everybody's trying to get a promotion and they work like dogs, but it's, those things are, for me, from the perspective of keeping a happy workforce, at the end of it, I end up with one person that's real happy and about 9 or 10 that's not so much. But promotionary process it's exciting. It pumps life into the workforce, and the shift commander position actually is the highest position in our suppression, and so that when that comes along, that'll be exciting. And then today's will be exciting, and then because there's trickle down. When I promote somebody from within inside, I get to hire new people. So that part that's fun to be part of, and we're increasing the new budget. Let us increase by 3, so 1 on each shift. So that's going to help us. We're trying to put some new units in service, and that's going to allow us to do some new things. And any time that we can bring in new personnel, it brings energy into, because it doesn't really matter what your job is at the City of Lebanon Fire Department. You have the opportunity to teach, and I've been talking to all my guys in the last few weeks. I made the rounds and spoke with almost every employee we have, and and it's important to me that even the new guy understands that his voice has influence. And so I've spent a lot of time with them in the last few weeks, just talking about everything from the pay increases to the possible stations being built, or a station being built, new equipment coming in. And so the new budget time is usually an exciting period.
Yeah. Well, no doubt they listen to you, but you listen to them too, don't you?
I do. I come up from the firefighter rank. I've seen it, and I thought when I was in the firefighter rank, I thought if I ever get in a position to influence change, I'm going to influence it the best I can. I've hired like everyone in my department except for 5. So, and we're going to be 100 strong by the time July 1 gets here. So, I've got a lot invested with these men and women, and but I tell you what, I wouldn't trade a second of it. Our workforce is is amazing from top to bottom. It's my job would not be pleasant if it wasn't, and I've got the best job in the world. I swear I do. I haven't worked a day. It's.
I want to. About time for a break. Got about a minute here, but I want to mention. You mentioned Chris Stockton, and were you there when he came, or did you?
I was actually. He was one of the first ones we started an agility course, and the reason why I say that is because Chris is a big guy, and you had to scale a 4-foot fence, part of the agility course, and he absolutely annihilated the fence and fell down. And I thought, I don't know about this kid. And but Chris has come on and was training officer for us for 10 years. Chris is probably one of the sharpest minds I've ever been around, and he's loves the fire service, loves the men and women he works with. I've been in the shift commander position for a long time. Always been in a position of leadership pretty much. And what he's accomplished in his career is absolutely amazing. He's going to get to leave this place a lot better than it was than when he found it. And not that it was bad then, but he has grown through the process. And he was in a lot of the hiring panels with me when we hired. And so, I've fought a lot of fire with Chris. There's a lot of things about when the older guys start retiring and you've actually fought fire with them, and that friendship has been forged in fire, as they say. But it's going to be, we'll take a loss right there for sure.
Well, I've known him for a long time, not all that well, but known him, and I always thought he was a good guy too. We'll take a break right here. More coming up with Fire Chief Jason Baird in a moment here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, get a battery installed in most vehicles. $149.95. Bates Ford, 1780 Franklin Road. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They're making a little bit of progress on this fatal crash that happened earlier this morning on 65 northbound at Vietnam Vets. They just moved the truck that was involved in it over to the side. Now there's still rerouting traffic 65 north in Madison there onto OHB. Again, still a mess over here in the Madison area on 65 going northbound. It's really starting to crank up now. 24 coming in from Murfreesboro. And it looks like some radar over here on Briley Parkway, not too far from M Hill Pike. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services here in Middle Tennessee. Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
The cozy warmth after coming in from a chilly pink-cheeked morning walk. The perfect man cave temperature to kick back and watch the big game. When the weather turns cold, a new Rheem heating system will surround your family in total comfort. Are you feeling it? Rheem, the new degree of comfort.
Feel year-round comfort with a new HVAC system installed by the pros at Randy's Heat and Air. We're the local team you can trust. Call Randy's Heat and Air today at 615-237-3604.
Are you facing a challenging time that you need help navigating? Well, look no further than your local law firm of Kane & Crowell. At the offices of Kane & Crowell, we understand the complexities that come with family law matters. Whether you're going through a divorce, working through child custody or support matters, or needing a will or trust drafted to protect your family assets for future generations. Kane & Crowell, 615-784-4800. Your local leaders in family law matters.
Coleman and Company here on a Thursday morning. We thank you for joining us, and our thanks to Fire Chief Jason Baird for being here today. Chief Baird is sent here today by Jeff Baines, who has he tells you to come on the third Wednesday every once in a while, and when you're not, then that's why I try to get you on the fourth one. So I'd like to have you out here every month. You tell some good stories. We really keep up with what's happening in the fire department. And you mentioned earlier budget time, and it sounds like you already have a pretty good idea of how it's going to be the next fiscal year.
It looks like it. I've talked to the mayor, financial commissioner, and then I've gone through the council. So I think I'm waiting now on my final edit to the budget, and I feel strongly that I kind of have an idea how it's going to play out. So it's going to be a good budget for us. I'm in the process of a really good budget right now. Going to have an opportunity to buy some more resources as far as tools and equipment, and that's the thing in my line of work. The technology changes so much within a year. I mean, like my extrication equipment, I've got some that's up to 10 years old, and so when I replace that with new technology, a lot of things change, and so it's and that's from every aspect. My fire engines, I've got one of those in the budget. our fire engines basically stay frontline for 15 years and then go in reserve for 5. And it's not exactly time yet. It's a little early for me to replace one, but there's a two-year build out on them, so I have to kind of get on the books when I can. So, and then another thing we buy. We've the recent bad weather we went through. We didn't have it as bad in Lebanon. We had some flooding. Burdock flooded, Upton Heights flooded a little bit. We had some around Center Street and those areas, but it kind of hit other areas. Kind of hit Sumner County. Friday night, we got a call for mutual aid in Sumner County. We sent one of our Swiftwater Rescue instructors over there with another personnel with Wilson EMA. And then Saturday, mutual aid was requested for Murray County. Was it Saturday? I can't remember the date now. I don't think it was, but I can't remember the date. But it wasn't Saturday. But we sent, basically the regional coordinator will call me. I'm the Wilson County coordinator, and say, we've been requested for mutual aid in Murray County, Columbia. So our goal in our department is to have wheels turning on the street within an hour. That's how quick we try to get it done. They asked for 3 engine companies and 4 personnel per engine company. And so I called Chief Hobbs at Wilson EMA, and we've been in the same boat. He has the people, but the equipment was hard. He had some engines down for maintenance and some work being done. And then Mount Juliet Fire talked to Chief Joey Edwards, and he got together one of his engine companies and 4 personnel. And then I was able to put together an engine company with a rescue truck also. And then we sent another pickup truck, a command vehicle with 3 people in it with every chainsaw we could wrangle up. And so we ended up sending a total of 17 people over there. And so they were able to be part of and influence the cleanup over there. And we knew a lot of people in that area too that we were able to go over and help. And see what happens in the deployment, we got together, we have a Middle Tennessee Fire Chiefs Association. And so when we started looking at things that hit, like, for instance, the East Coast, where all the resources are used up on the East Coast when that happens, they can't leave. And you have to prepare for those things to come inland too. So we made an alliance in Middle Tennessee, us, Murfreesboro, Hendersonville, Nashville Fire, Goodlettsville, all those areas, Wilson EMA, Mount Juliet Fire from Wilson County, all made an agreement that we would be teamed up together and deploy because we had the most resources in the state was right here in Middle Tennessee. So when that call comes out, we get together. We were paired, once we got to Columbia, we were paired up with Murfreesboro Fire. So we all worked together in Middle Tennessee. And I think back about it, and I say this, the mayor and a lot of times the council will send me a text and say, hey, are we going? Because they're very supportive of it, and we normally already have things rolling at that point. So, and I look at it from when we had the tornado hit Lebanon, and I went to our initial command post was our Station 4 on 109. So I was shuttling people in and out in that location, try to get as many people on the ground as we could. And as I was running back and forth, each time the amount of equipment at that location grew. And probably by the time that we started receiving or got finished receiving mutual aid, I probably had 15 different cities and counties represented there in a fire engine lined up and down Highway 109 just waiting for assignment. So we do our very best to repay that effort, and we're very thankful. This Middle Tennessee's always been like that.
Doesn't that mean so much for the whole area just to have that backup, to know that it's there, at least in some proportion, if needed?
It is. It's in hazardous situations too. When we have a weather event, it can be something like Mount Juliet Fire had an event. They had to do a large debriefing after their big fire they had, and so we went there and manned the station for them. We went to Lawrenceburg. Lawrenceburg had a death in their department, and we want to give that whole department the opportunity to go mourn the loss of their firefighter and their friend. So we went and staffed their stations in Lawrenceburg. I've been to Woodbury. I've been everywhere. Lafayette several times, and so we all work together, and we have to, honestly, because we don't have enough resources to take care of every single emergency. So we tap into other assets, and that's where the chiefs meetings come into play, because we can learn from these departments what they have available to us. And Lebanon's lucky from the perspective of I can grab a backhoe and a backhoe operator in a matter of minutes from Lee Clark, and I may have something on a site, let's say a dumpster on fire, and we can't get it put out because it's packed in there so tight. I could call Lee and say, Lee, can you get me a backhoe on this location? And he'll bring a backhoe and we'll work through it together. And this city has always been like that. And I'm grateful. I'm truly grateful for that effort.
Let me ask this. I mean, we're all human beings, and some people maybe relish danger, and some want to stay away from it. Of course, if you're a firefighter, you probably are in the former category, maybe. But how important is it to go, or is there a reluctance? Are they hoping they don't choose me? How does that work?
Oh my goodness! It's at Lebanon Fire. I have to almost do counseling after I do a request for staffing to go for a mutual aid request somewhere. They pile in so quick wanting to go, and that doesn't matter what the emergency is. And so I never have that problem. Other agencies I can call and they'll be like, well, I've got the equipment, but I don't have the staffing. And we have never had that problem. And I'm thankful for that, because once we get called for mutual aid, it doesn't take but one or two calls and us not responding or helping, and then we fall to the bottom of the list and we don't get that call anymore. And we've not always gotten that call, but boy, we get it now. We're right there at the top. We're aligned with Murfreesboro and Hendersonville and all these bigger departments around us, and I'm so proud of that. Franklin, we're aligned right in there. We make teams together. We'll send as a group, and they're trained alike. So and we're talking about regional too. We can go. We've been to Texas, Louisiana. We've been all over the southern part of the country, and mutual aid requests. So it's exciting from that perspective.
You're going to see more of this in the future, probably, rather than less. I mean, a cooperative, a stronger, larger cooperative effort.
It is, and it's especially in Middle Tennessee. We've tapped into so many resources, and I'm so proud to say there's really no turf wars from that perspective. Everyone tries to help each other, and sharing of resources, because it doesn't take much. I have 4 frontline fire engines, and I have 1 reserve. It does not take much for me to have 2 broke down at one time. It may be minor or major, and then I'm in really bad shape. And so I get help from Wilson County EMA or Mount Juliet Fire, or anywhere local can help, and I do the same for them. So that part of it it's always been smooth for us. And you talk about reluctancy to go on these type calls. I think for me, the hardest call is a water call. Water is, I'd rather fight fire 2 to 1 than water rescues. And unfortunately, this community floods frequently. And what you see at times is you have new growth, and some places that used to flood don't flood no more. It's in a new spot. And so you have those areas that you're not familiar with when those type of things happen. But flooding is, some of the calls I've been on that I reflect back on, the most nervous I've been for our staff would be 100% water calls. I mean, just because there's so much of the unknown, one of the scariest calls was not even in the city of Lebanon. It was in Wilson County for us, for a mutual aid call for WEMA for a water rescue out on Big Springs Road, and it was scary. And in the dark, pouring down rain, literally watched we were in a field and watched a stop sign flow through as it come downstream. So, yeah, it's the water rescues are. Now, we spent a lot of time training. We just did some training as a group effort with Mount Juliet and Wilson EMA and water rescue training, and we spent a lot of time we got a trailer set up just for water rescue. Every fire engine we've got's got floating devices on it for our employees, and some of them they might have to go in and save. And so they do Swiftwater 1, Swiftwater 2 certification. So we spent a lot of time in that area, because that seems to be the most called for mutual aid is in that field of some capacity, either evacuation or search and rescue or something like that.
Well, no doubt, and we're about the end of our time here, but no doubt things have changed a lot over the years, where once upon a time you mostly just fought fires within the city, and there wasn't this is as much mutual assistance, I don't think, as we have now. You hardly heard of it, really, and you were just a firefighter, and that was it. Times have changed.
It's changed. It has changed. Everybody taps into each other's resources, and it's not just actually tangible things. It could be a skill set. It could be, maybe I've got an employee that is really, really good at a certain discipline. Departments will say, hey, can you get me, that deployment to Sumner County. I sent one of our Swiftwater instructors, and he that's another level that we're sending. And the points with deployment too, we have to be worried about is I can't send more resources than I got to make sure I keep providing the service here.
Right.
So we have to be very careful in that setting too. But yeah, it can be personnel. They can call and say, hey, can you get me such and such, because he's got expertise in it. So and I'll do the same thing to them. If they've got somebody, I'll grab them and pull them up and say, hey, help us work through this process. So it's a joint effort.
Jason Baird, our time's up. Thanks for being with us this morning. Always appreciate your visit.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Fire Chief for the City of Lebanon, and that's part one of Coleman and Company. We've got more, and hope you'll keep it right here, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Absolute Kubota. They have a deal designed to keep you ahead of schedule. Check out the world's #1 selling compact excavator, plus 0% financing. It's going on now until the end of the year. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. It remains a mess north of Nashville up in Madison. Since early this morning, we had a fatal crash up there involving a car and a truck. Now, they did move the truck over to the side. They still haven't opened it back up yet, but what a mess here in Madison. They're still rerouting you there on 65 northbound at OHB. Traffic's really cranking up. 24 west up through the Antioch area, coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. It's been heavy in Wilson County this morning as well. 40 westbound out there trying to get out of Lebanon, headed towards Nashville. Hey, Princess Hot Chicken has new items on a new menu. You got to check them out today. PrincessHotChicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Hey, this is Paul with Bates Ford, and have I got some exciting news for you. Bates Ford's moved into our new location at 1780 Franklin Road. That's right, Bates Ford's at 1780 Franklin Road, just off Hartman Drive and Interstate 40. We've got a much larger selection of vehicles to choose from, a state-of-the-art double-sized service department, so come see us at 1780 Franklin Road. That's Bates Ford, 615-444-8221. Bates Ford, the dealer will trade for anything that don't eat.
What is your passion? How can you use that passion to enrich your community? Hi, this is Melanie Minter, President and CEO of the Lebanon-Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Your chamber is the resource for making connections to fulfill your passion. Whether education, nonprofit, agriculture, entertainment, or government relations, Wilson County offers a place for you to be involved. Your chamber connects businesses, individuals, and your passion to the community. We have an enthusiasm for excellence. Join us and catch the spirit. Call or visit our office at 149 Public Square in Lebanon.
A slight chance of showers today, with rain chances increasing overnight. We'll see a high of 83, dipping down to 57 tonight. Scattered storms a possibility for Friday, with some clearing conditions by the weekend. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm Severe View's Will Nunley.
Coleman Company, part 2 here on a Thursday morning. We welcome our friends from A.G. & Johnson Realty and Auction. Jay White, good morning to you.
Good morning, Coleman.
And Helene Singer-Cash, good morning.
Hi, Coleman.
Yeah, all right. We are all set to go here for A.G. & Johnson Realty and Auction, 728 West Main at www.agentjohnson.com, and a phone number, of course, we tell you, and we like to tell you the phone number.
615-444-0909.
All right. Well, Jay, get us started. I know you got an auction to talk about.
We do, Coleman. This Saturday morning up in Watertown, up right off Sparta Pike, about a quarter of a mile off Sparta Pike. We're going to be up on Linwood Road. We got a 4.35 acre tract up there, just a nice little tract of land up there on Linwood Road. It's wooded, dotted with trees. It's just an agricultural piece. But if you're looking for a place to come out and a recreational piece of property, it would make a perfect piece of recreational property up there on Linwood Road, close to the Watertown city limits. That's Watertown's not near as far from the interstate as it used to be. So things are growing up there. It's in a great school district up there. But if you're interested in a piece of property up on the, I call it the east side of the county, come out and be with us up on Linwood Road Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. So,
is that the only one you're going to talk about today?
That's the only one I'm going to talk about. I guess Memorial Day weekend is the next weekend, and we're going to take off that holiday weekend, and we're not going to be having an auction on that holiday weekend, and then we're going to crank right back up after the holiday season.
Well, I'm kind of thinking that
we've got this morning.
Kind of thinking that this area here is Jim Agee country.
Well, he was born and raised up there.
It sure is.
He's not far from from where he was raised up there, and he had a farm. He still I think maybe his parents lived on Linwood Road here in the last few years. So, but anyway, it is close to where he was raised up there. A lot of good folks came from up there.
Well, if we can get a Jim Agee connection here, that's all right, I guess.
That's true. That is true. Well, we're going to crank right back up the weekend after Memorial Day. We've got some houses and lots to sell. We've got some personal property. Got lots of personal property to sell in June.
Lots of personal property.
And then we do have some more farms that we'll be dealing with. But if you're interested, if you're thinking about having an auction, please feel free to call us. We'd be glad to come out and talk with you about it. I mean, auctions are a good way to liquidate, but you can't do it overnight. You have to spend some time getting them ready and preparing them. And if you're thinking about having an auction, let us know. Let us come out and get started.
Well, think about it. There's certain qualities that you put into an auction. Part of that is the preparation and all that goes into it before you actually do it. Those flyers that you have, very colorful, attractive flyers announcing this. I've always admired those, but it takes a lot of time. Well, I don't know how much time, but you have a lot of information in there, and you want it to be right, and you want it to be attractive.
That's true, and it just takes some time to put those things together. And,
right.
There's a lot of work goes into them before Saturday at 10 o'clock.
I know
there does.
You're wanting to talk about some other things, Helen.
Well, just like Jay said, we can come out and we can sit with you and talk with you, and we can determine whether an auction is appropriate for you or a traditional sale is appropriate for you. So you can give us a call at 615-444-0909, and we can come out and meet with you. And it's a perfect time of year to list your home. So we have an agent for you that can come out and meet with you. But it's a great time to list. It's beautiful out. It's been a little wet, so you want to make sure that everything is great and surrounding your house, and take a little time, spruce up that landscape. You want to make sure that you're mowing and you're trimming. But everyone is getting out now, and we're setting up lots of appointments, and we're showing a ton of homes. So if you are thinking about listing, if you're thinking about upsizing or downsizing, if you're thinking about making a move, it's a perfect time of year. There's a lot going on in the MLS. There's a lot of new listings out there. So it's a great time for you to look at making that change. So you can give us a call.
Right. And you can go to the website as well.
Absolutely.
Do you have much to do with the website yourself?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. www.agandjohnson.com, and you have a lot more there than we're able to talk about in 5 or 6 minutes each Thursday morning.
That's where there's comprehensive information on the website, but we can always ask any questions at any time. Either you can email us, you can call us, you can stop by the office. We're there to help you.
All right. Well, A.G. & Johnson Realty and Auction, 728 West Main, community trusted since 1977. The two of you weren't around there in 1977, but you've come along and come a long way since that time, right?
We sure have.
Well, good to have you. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next Thursday.
Thank you.
Too. Thanks, Coleman.
All right. Jay White, Helene Singer-Cash with A.G. & Johnson Realty. We're 22 before the hour. Melanie Mentor is my guest this morning. She is the President, CEO, Lebanon Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. And, well, it just so happens this way. Yesterday, we had Mark Hinesley here talking about Mount Juliet. We got you here today to talk about the Lebanon Chamber. And between the two of you, you cover Wilson County pretty well. And we have a chamber in Watertown as well, don't we?
We do.
Yeah. Well, how are you?
Good morning. I'm well. Thank you.
Well, we're certainly glad to have you with us. And I know you want to get started, and you always bring a lot of information. We never rehearse this. It's just whatever comes out, whatever you want to say is fine with me, as I've said to others occasionally, as long as it's not illegal, immoral, or fattening.
Well, something on here might be a little fattening that we'll talk about later, but but we have definitely a lot of things going on. We were in our board meeting yesterday with all of our great board of directors and talked about all the different things that were happening and things we were involved in, and there were a list of about 25 things I think that have been accomplished, done, in the middle of, executed, planned. Since the last board meeting. So we are all very connected to the community, and I do want to thank our board for being connected as well. Thank my staff, of course, Andrea, and all the hard work she does. And then we have Caitlin that's new on board, so we want everybody to come in and visit and see her. So she is the new office coordinator. She's been here for a week or two, kind of trained 1 week and coming in another. So then Sarah with marketing, she's killing it. You know, we're making sure that everything that we have is out there for everyone to see and everybody to be a part and know what we're doing.
Well, it's another big year because it's 100th year for the chamber. Started in 1924. This is 2024, 100 years.
That's right, and the 100 years has made it a lot bigger because obviously we wanted to be doing a lot more things with a lot of different businesses, and so we wanted to make sure that we kind of took each month and did a little timeline of places we'd been and places we were going to go.
Okay, what's next this morning?
Well, I think the first thing that I want to say is I heard this morning Chief Baird, I think, was on the radio. And then yesterday at Government Relations, we had Deputy Chief Mullins from Mount Juliet, and we had Mike Justice here, Chief Justice from Lebanon. And, you know, it was just nice to get to hear them and always good to know that our first responders are there for us. They make such a great impact on our community, and for them to be have relationships with people and being able to help people in other counties at certain times and work together, I think is just such a great display of who we are here in Wilson County in Lebanon.
Well, your office is a busy place almost any time of day, I think. But you've how long have you actually had? I know time flies. You've been there longer than I'm thinking. But how many years have you been in this position?
Almost 10 years. Almost a decade.
Oh, it just doesn't seem like it's been that long. Time is flying. But anyway, what else you got?
I've got, well, first I want to talk about in the morning is our business before hours, and it is at 7:30 a.m. So for all the early risers, please join us at Wilson Bank and Trust. There will be a ribbon cutting in the main office and a grand reopening, and that is 623 West Main Street in Lebanon. The chamber pot is at $375, but it looks great inside the building where they have renovated the inside of it, and we definitely want people to come out and join us. It's a way to connect with fellow members and explore opportunities and enjoy the business community that we are building together.
You mentioned a $375 chamber pot. How long has it been since somebody won?
Somebody won probably the first of the year. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it goes up every time.
Right.
Usually there'll be one to two winners a year, believe it or not. So you'll get the one chance, and then it goes to half if you're the second business that's drawn or individual. But $375 lets us know that we already have dipped into it one time. Yeah. Somebody has taken that money or perhaps given it back to us.
Well, I think that's done as an encouragement for chamber members to attend.
Yeah. It is. I mean, it's a great networking great networking for us. We want people to come out and to think that, hey, we do have a chance of what can the chamber give back to us. If you think monetarily wise, then that is great. That's what we want to do. We want to help any business that we can.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's sometimes that people say, hey, you know what, you've done a lot for the community, so we'll give it back to you. So it's just kind of a fun thing to have for people to come out and really want to network and get to know each other better.
Well, yeah, an incentive to get people to attend, and then something for somebody to win, maybe.
That's right.
Maybe.
That's right. There's usually we have door prizes there, so I'm sure there'll be door prizes tomorrow. But sometimes it's just nice to go in and look at the businesses, especially when they're reopening, or to see, kind of what's been happening or what's going on if you haven't been in a while.
And this is really a special occasion tomorrow for Wilson Bank to not only the reopening and all of this, but to have the chamber there. I think that's what will we say, another feather in their cap, so to speak.
Well, thank you. But we always love to go to all the businesses, and we're happy to be with Wilson Bank and Trust. They're a huge supporter of the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber of Commerce in many ways.
Right. We got time for one more thing before we go to a break.
We can go over the ribbon cuttings that are coming up.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Let's go over some ribbon cuttings. So Cedar Spring Event Venue, May 23rd. So for those of you who know Hal Bone and the Bone family, Horizon Construction's been working really hard on this, but they have a new venue that's going to be open. And so we're going to get to go out there and see that. I'm super excited about seeing that myself. I know they just had a wedding out there a couple of weeks ago, but it is a venue for you to use for different things as well. So anybody that's interested in seeing a new venue, please come out to that ribbon cutting, because I know you won't be disappointed. And then Vanilla Moose Coffee is June 6th, so that will be coming up the next week. So we're super excited to have Vanilla Moose as a member. They're a new member, and we're very, very excited to have them. So both of those two are coming up May 23rd and June the 6th. The 23rd is at 4 p.m., so that is more in the afternoon. And on the 6th, it is at 11 a.m. for a little light lunch.
Okay. And with that, we will take a break. Melanie Minter with the Lebanon and Wilson County Chamber of Commerce is here. More coming up on Coleman & Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, that regular oil change, $39.95. Up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal, 1780 Franklin Road. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. They did open it back up here, but they're finishing up the paperwork on that terrible crash that happened earlier on 65 northbound near Vietnam Vets. We're hoping it's going to start to improve here shortly. Try to get up through the Madison area. Again, it should improve here. Just hang in there on 65 northbound up through Madison. Now it's heavy. 24 coming in from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County up through the Antioch area. Same thing's happening through Hermitage right now. Heavy traffic flow on 40 westbound there at Central Pike as you come in from Wilson County towards Nashville. 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Middle Tennessee. Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Are you thinking about buying a new home? Let A.G. & Johnson assist you with your new home search. From the first-time home buyer to the empty nester, we are experienced in all facets of the home buying process. We will be with you every step of the way. No matter if you are buying, selling, downsizing, or upsizing, we can assist you with your real estate needs. Call us at 615-444-0909 or find us online at agandjohnson.com or Facebook A.G. & Johnson Realty. A.G. & Johnson is your community's trusted realty and auction company.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. We continue here on a Thursday. Melanie Minter's with us with the Chamber of Commerce, and we feature Melanie each month to let you know what's happening in our Lebanon Chamber, and there is so much going on. Not only that, we're celebrating 100 years. A lot has changed in 100 years with the Chamber of Commerce, and we do have pictures and documents to prove
that. It's a different world today than 100 years ago in 1924. 1924 was about 4 or 5 years before the Depression, I guess, and I've seen had attention to call to some of the documents, and sometimes things were done in a little bit more humorous way, weren't they, back then?
They were. A lot, though, remained the same. When going through all the information, the actual values of the chamber have remained the same. Obviously, wanting to be involved in the different things in the community and making sure that we were aware of what was happening, and that we were a resource to people and for people and around the table with people. The memories are they're great. And if you missed the chamber mixer that we had, we will have something else. So we just wait. Of course, we'll be out at the fair for the replica for the chamber building out at Villers Grove. We're super excited about that. That will go under construction in a couple of weeks. So that's going to be an exciting time for us, because that kind of puts us out there where we think, it's a great place, a showcase for us over on the fairgrounds.
Well, I know, too, that you called out the names of every past president of the chamber at your annual banquet back in February, I think it was. And the names, a lot of people I had never, some of them passed before I was even old enough to have known them. But the people who've been affiliated with the Chamber of Commerce were leaders in our community all those years, all these 100 years, really, is what it's been.
That's exactly right. I mean, they were very tied to all the different areas, just like we are today, whether it's government or education or, anything that we do as a chamber, we're in the middle of something because we want to make sure that we can give that information out and we can talk to people about it and give that information to them.
I think one of the things that has certainly added and meant a lot to the advancement of the chamber is your being more than just encouraging commerce. I mean, that's great. We need people to trade, but there's a lot more to the community. I mean, the education, industry, all these things that you're throwing out all the time. That hasn't always been.
It hasn't. But you know what? It's been a lot of fun, and people have really enjoyed it. They've really enjoyed going out and touring the new businesses, whether they're small or whether they're industry or distribution. We haven't always had a women in the lead, and that's really something that's in the last 10 years, it's really been a great asset to us, as well as young professionals. I've got to learn from the Gen Zs. We know Dr. Kara Sprouse would tell us that for sure. So, there are just so many different things that we've had to do to come along as we have in that 100 years to make things relevant to the way it is today. Yeah. And one of those, too, is, technology. We'll keep talking about that. We've had people in our building this week, so trying to get the state-of-the-art technology on both floors and Wi-Fi and making sure that, everything is working, because we have so many people that are in and out of the chamber and that depend on the chamber for their meetings and their businesses.
I don't know, but I think that maybe computers and the advancement of all of the technology has been one of the biggest changes that I've seen in my life, and especially since, 1990s?
It was definitely a pivot for us in 2020. We had never seen anything like it. Nobody in the office, of course, nobody around us. I mean, even you. I mean, it was just a different time for us, and we really had to step back and say, okay, now how are we going to be personalized and make this work when we aren't, face to face, when we can't really talk because we have a mask on, or, all those different things that happen to us. And, we are on Zoom, but, somebody's, drinking their water, or somebody's having their coffee, or, so it was a more relaxed time versus a time where we were actually feeling like we were doing business.
Yeah.
And so that changed a lot for us, but it changed for the good, because today Zooms are still happening. That's the only way some people will even meet with us today. So, we learn as we go, I think, but we also have to take what we have learned and make sure that we are moving forward with that.
Yeah. Well, time does not sit still. And in fact, it's going pretty fast here as you're here this morning. But we've got maybe 7 minutes left. And what else you got for us?
Well, we can talk about the State of the Hospital address.
Okay.
So that is Thursday, May 23rd from 11:30 to 1, and that's the Capitol Theater. And we will hear from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital President Scott McCarver, who is on our board of directors, and Deputy CEO and Chief Health System Officer C. Wright Pinson, so Dr. Pinson, MD, celebrating 45 years as a hospital and 5 years under the Vanderbilt name since acquisition in 2019. So obviously having a hometown hospital has been very important to our community. There are so many things that Wilson County has that other counties do not have, but we are happy that Vanderbilt is going to give us a little information, more information to learn more about their hospital on that day. And it is from 11:30 to 1. I believe Wildberry is the caterer, so please call the chamber and sign up. We would love to have you. We would love to have you at that event.
Is that the easiest way? Just call the chamber?
Sure.
Okay.
That's the easiest
and
way.
Of course, this is free.
It is free.
But space is limited.
Space
the
is
Capitol
limited.
only holds so many people.
That's right. Space is limited, so please sign up. You can go online and sign up, or you can just call. So
Okay.
it's up to you as the person of how you want to do that. But we want anybody to come. It's the first one that we've ever done. So we thank Vanderbilt for coming up with this, and I talked to Tracy Pope about it several times before it actually came to fruition. So we really are excited about it, and we want other people to come out and listen.
And of course, Dr. Bone, I guess I should say the late Dr.
Yes,
Robert
sir.
Carver Bone, is going to be mentioned without a doubt because it was all his idea that got started.
That's right.
Yeah.
And even the whole Vanderbilt part. So
Yeah.
Then we have the Rock the Block on May 31st downtown on the square with the Square Merchants, 6 to 8:30 p.m. So there'll be some food trucks and entertainment. So we look forward to that night. And we're gonna use the chamber thing and say, hey, there's not gonna be any bad weather, and they're gonna have a great night, and people can go out and shop and have fun on that night.
I think I've got a program next week about that, so we'll talk more about it and find out who's going to be doing the entertainment.
There you go. Member visits. This is something, we talked about a little bit earlier, that things that we have been doing differently, but this is something that we started this year that we are going to continue. But we have already completed 70 member visits this year. We started it in February, so a little over 3 months or so. But we have been out to all of those businesses, whether we have been with the Easter Bunny, or we have brought the 100-year cake, or whether we were just simply in your business. But we want to say thank you to everyone who has played a vital role in the Chamber's success, and this year's a great way to do it. When we came out in February, we said we were going to do 100 visits in 100 days. So we're going to make it. So it's going to happen, and then we'll move from there and move from that 100. But we just want to honor the milestone that we're having. And we want to include your organization in this campaign. Mm-hmm. So if there's anybody out there that wants us to come visit us, please let us know so that we can get you set up and we can come out and visit your place of business. What we'll also do is highlight your place of business. So we'll not only come to you, but you will be on social media, and we'll talk about the business on social media. And as we reflect on this century, we want to take this opportunity to express our sincere appreciation for all the partnerships we have. We believe that our chamber's success reflects the collaborative efforts of our sponsors and our investors.
Well, this has got to be a nice chamber boost if you come to somebody's business.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's definitely, and we have over 10,000 followers. So it's just something that we know that we can do for the businesses and some of the smaller ones that don't get the marketing, or they'll say, I didn't know where Vanilla Moose Coffee, is located.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's popping up on our feed and on our social media. And so that's very important to us, and it's been very important to us all along, but especially with our 1,623 members, we want to make sure that we can grasp as many of those members that we can and make sure that we can highlight them.
1,623.
1,623, the largest amount of membership that we've ever had.
And that's great. I remember when we hit 1,000, and that was a milestone. Mm-hmm. That was some time ago.
It was.
Still growing.
It's still growing. Okay.
We have 3 minutes.
Membership orientation. So if you have not been to the chamber and you don't know anything about the chamber, or if you've been to the chamber and you just want to learn more, because as we would say, you can come to one orientation, but you're always going to learn something the second time too, I promise. There was a little snooze in there when someone was in the last orientation. But June the 12th at noon, RSVP on our website. Please join us for a must-attend event for new inquiries and existing members. So it really doesn't matter if you just need a refresher of what we do, or if you actually don't know anything about us. And many times when people come in, what you were talking about earlier, Coleman, is not only are we out there for the businesses and doing things for the businesses, but we're also out there doing things for the community. So we're very community-based chamber, and that's something that a lot of people that are moving in don't necessarily know about us. So we do encourage you to come in, talk to us, and then also come to the things like the orientation so that we can educate you on all the different things that we do.
Well, it would surprise me almost to think that anybody's been here any length of time and doesn't at least know that the Chamber of Commerce exists. I can understand how you wouldn't know everything about it, because it is multifaceted for sure. There's a lot that you do that if it's not in your area of expertise, maybe you don't know about. But most people surely know about the Chamber. If you don't, you need to.
That's right. You sure do. And we say all the time, tell the story. And I think we've done a really good job of telling the story lately. Yeah. And I do know, even since COVID, that it's just brought a different level to the city and to the county, meaning they know that we're out there. We want to be a partner to them, whether they're a nonprofit or anything. They know that we have passion for them, and that we want them to succeed.
And if you're a business and you're not a member, you should be.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Women in the Lead, have your cake and eat it too. So, yeah. I mean, that's going to be a lot of fun. So this dynamic networking series is empowering women to thrive both personally and professionally. This is going to have something to do with cake. So maybe we're decorating a cake, not sure, but I'll encourage you by saying to please join us at a Working Man's Winery from 4 to 5:30 on June 13th, and that's where we'll be. You can have your cake and eat it too. So don't miss out on that. That sounds like a lot of fun. Save the Date Charter Day Picnic, sponsored by Middle Tennessee Electric, is September the 5th. Our golf tournament is September the 9th. We'll be meeting and greeting with county commissioners on the 16th of September, and then Taste of Wilson County is the 24th. And October the 26th is Cedar City Fall Bureau's Festival. Proceeds go to Wilson Books from Birth. So we want to thank the Codys and Kyle for that festival.
Okay. Well, I do it. We're out of time. Melanie, thanks for being with us. We always appreciate your visit.
Thank you so much.
Melanie Minter, Chamber of Lebanon, Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. That's it for a Thursday. Join us tomorrow. Till then, I wish you a tremendous day.